Spiritual teacher or cult leader? Hello, beautiful wayward souls. I hope you're all doing well. I've been watching a lot of cult videos lately. Don't know why, just been curious. I like to look at all sides of things, especially when it comes to spirituality. And it breaks my heart because there's so many toxic individuals out there that will use something as a way to they'll use something so beautiful as a way to manipulate others, control others, and take advantage of others. And it really it's so sad. And I feel like that puts a bad image on spirituality and spiritual people that are actually really, really beautiful people, you know? So I want to debunk that. And, even though there's cult leaders out there and there's crazy people, there's also beautiful, beautiful spiritual teachers, and some that I've met personally that have changed my life for the better. So with that, I have 5 questions for you to ask yourself in order to see if you're communicating with a true spiritual teacher or someone who's a little cultish, a little more of a cult leader. Question 1. Do you feel more insignificant compared to the spiritual teacher? So then ask yourself, does this spiritual teacher, when you're around them, do you feel more insignificant? Do they kind of make you feel smaller? Or like they have all the answers? Do they let you talk? Do they hold space for you? Ask yourself these questions. Is it your own insecurity that you feel small, or is it this person's energy and what they're like? Are they giving you that vibe? So that's question 1. Do you feel more insignificant to your spiritual teacher because you shouldn't? And is that your own insecurity, or is that actually how they're making you feel? Question 2. Are you being, quote unquote, pushed to heal your boundaries? And I have to put that in quotation marks because these kinds of spiritual teachers that are toxic and unhealthy, they will manipulate you into submission and push your boundaries. And they will say, oh, what's your resistance here? You need to heal this. You need to do this. And they will kind of try to make you see it in a way that you're healing something in order for them to push your boundaries. And this happens a lot of the times with things like sex cults and weird stuff like that. Is that I know someone who has ended up in one, and that was the biggest thing she was saying is you got to heal your boundary issues. And that's actually so toxic. If you struggle with boundary issues and you've just been through it in your life and you're struggling with that, any spiritual teacher that tries to get you to heal that by people invading your space, that is seriously so not safe. It's so not okay. When you have boundary issues, a healthy spiritual teacher will advise you to work through that, but they will not whatsoever try to convince you to do things that you don't want to do, and they will never try to convince you to push any boundaries or to quote unquote lose resistance and open up, when really that's not what they're doing. They're invading your space. They're invading your boundaries. Question 3, have they separated you from the people in your life? Or have you been encouraged by them so much that you've separated yourself from the people in your life? And I'm not talking about toxic people. When you go on a spiritual journey, you're naturally going to find yourself hanging out with friends that are more surface level. You're going to hang out with those kinds of surface level friends less, because going through a spiritual journey, you want to meet people that are healthy for you and are at your level, and that's fine. But when they start telling you that you shouldn't be seeing your family so much, they're holding you back, or when you have grounded people in your life that are at least open to your spirituality and they're not super judgmental, and if they're starting to feel concerned about how much you're invested or pulling away, definitely at the very least take that into consideration and try to use discernment, because spiritual teachers are not gods. They are people that are just really good at their profession. That's what they do. That's their purpose, is to help guide others along their spiritual journey. But they are not, there's no need for them to be on a pedestal. They're not the ultimate deciders of your life. And if they are, then there's a serious red flag there. So that you should not be separating yourself, or you shouldn't be isolated within this spiritual community that you've entered, or whatever this person's trying to tell you. Definitely like use discernment and really think and use your own intuition. Okay, number 4. Is the spiritual teacher calling all the shots in the group? Are they like the absolute leader? Because a true spiritual teacher will not have that kind of dominating energy. They just will not. They will have the wisdom. They will have the confidence in knowing that what they're doing is good, but they will not have that dominating, I'm the boss energy. A cult leader will. And no one, absolutely no one, should be completely influencing your life and your decisions. They can advise you, like loving yourself and like ways to raise your vibration. But a true spiritual teacher will never tell you, oh, that's your twin flame. Or they'll never tell you, like a true spiritual teacher will never tell you that you should be doing anything specific with your life. Like there's intuitive insights. Like, you get like a numerology reading and someone says that you might be happier by moving your body more or something like that, right? I'm not talking about stuff like that. I'm talking about like this is your twin flame. You guys can like that's your person, or like I know for sure like this is what you're going through, and this is what you need to do. Like stop talking to these people, and like things like really specific things. Like they should, like no one should be telling you what to do. Only you can only be advised. And there should, like, you'll notice, like if they're trying to tell you to do things and there's almost this like really stern, almost aggressive energy, like, and pay attention to their energy. Do they feel ungrounded to you? Like really like pay attention, and don't have them on a pedestal, because it's really hard to see red flags when you have a spiritual teacher on a pedestal. Number 5, are they asking you for like huge amounts of money for their programs, or is it like a pyramid scheme that they're trying to get you involved in, like their spiritual business? Because I've been noticing more and more spiritual business pyramid schemes, like all throughout this like social media and stuff, and you have to be really careful, because that can often be very cultish. Again, watch that video on there's like 3 episodes. It's called Escaping Twin Flames. Watch it on Netflix. It's insane, and these people are hugely followed people on YouTube too, or like they were, and it gets weird, so check it out. So I think that's it. That's the 5 questions that you want to think about and ask yourself when you're interacting with a spiritual teacher, or when you're following them on social media too. Like, just remember first and foremost that your intuition counts as well, and learning to build that up, especially if you're on a spiritual journey. Like, that's one of the hugest points. You can't just listen to everyone around you, like regardless of whether or not they're spiritual. Listen to yourself and your own internal guidance system. And it doesn't hurt to get guidance here and there, but it's always best to really listen to your own intuition, because it might be telling you something else, right? And you don't want to end up in a toxic situation with somebody just because they appeared super spiritual. So never put a spiritual teacher on a pedestal. If they have good credits and they seem like a really good person, then yeah, kudos to them. They're like a celebrity. That's their profession. We appreciate that in spiritual teachers. Just remember to never put spiritual teachers in general on pedestals, and never let them, like, never think that they know everything and that they know what's best for you. Only you truly know what's best for you. All right, my loves, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I will see you next week for another one. I don't know what that will be about yet, to be honest. I just kind of go with what comes to me. Sometimes I'll get channeled messages from spirit. Sometimes I'll get an inspiration to do one. So we'll see. But if you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe and like the video. And yeah, I'm wishing you all the best. I am sending you so much love, so much good vibes. Take care, everybody. Peace out.